We're going to go ahead and get started. There are a few seats here for anybody who really needs a seat. Please, there's a couple seats here up front. You're welcome to join and sit down, and for those who really may need a seat. So my name is Greg Odell. I'm with Events DC. We're the Convention and Sports Authority here for the city. We've been extremely excited for everybody's behalf that this day has finally come. It's been a long time in the making. We've probably spent the last 2.5 years really working in concert with the mayor's vision for the city and for this campus about how we would reimagine what was arguably the first sports and entertainment district for Washington, D.C. I want to thank the mayor for her vision and for her support and guidance. I want to thank all of our council members, particularly I'll mention our chair of our Finance and Revenue Committee, Jack Evans, also the council member for this ward, Vincent Gray, and Charles Allen for Ward 6 in collaboration to really help us galvanize the community and really work very hard. And last but certainly not least, I must thank the community for the hard work and discussions and all the time commitment that we spent together to finally get to this point. Absolutely. So part of that vision was really to reimagine what we could do on this campus. And we knew there might be lots of discussion about a long-term plan, but we really wanted to focus on how we could activate right away. And what our mantra has become is activate this campus. So asphalt to action. We have lots of asphalt here, a sea of it, as you know. But today we're finally realizing a dream to make it something else, something beautiful and something better. You can see certainly around me, the first phase of this is some multi-purpose fields that we know will be enjoyed by the community, not only in close proximity to RFK, but also our community at large and across the city. There's lots of fields, certainly lots of play, and we know there's a scarcity of fields across the city. This won't solve all those problems, but we certainly think it'll be a great amenity and certainly have lots of benefits to all the amateur sports program that happens, but also the need for the community to enjoy green space as well. So just to talk a little bit more in detail, we're going to have 3 multi-purpose fields that will serve a multitude of different sports programming. We're going to have a 6,000 square foot facility, a pavilion facility, and then also some ancillary facilities as well, like restrooms, as well as a visitors building, and then also a storage and maintenance facility to accompany and accommodate this wonderful amenity in these fields as well. I want to thank a couple other people that have been working on this project. So our team with Events DC, Ryan Conway and Will Liebner have been our project managers on this, and they've done a fantastic job. Please give them a round of applause as well. And as we're finally coming to fruition, we've had some great consultants and project managers work on this. So Brailsford and Dunleavy has also done an amazing job helping from a program management perspective. Please give them a round of applause. And then we're extremely pleased to have our contractor MCM on board, who also is going to be the design builder who actually realizes this vision and actually build and construct these fields. So please give them a round of applause for all that they're going to do. So at Events DC, it really takes a village within our organization, and we're led by an amazing board that really sets the vision for us. They've been great in driving change throughout the organization to support the mayor's vision. And so throughout our campus and throughout the city, they really helped us push to drive what the community is looking for and starving for. So I want to personally thank the board, but also at this time introduce the chairman of our board, Max Brown, who set the vision to us. Max, if you come up and give a few words, that'd be great.
I'm short, so I have to bring the mic way down. Good morning, everybody. Let me first thank Greg and his team at Events DC. They're really the best in the country. Greg, really, we're fortunate to have such a great team. I want to thank our board, who is tremendous. Linda Greenan, Alan Bubis, Denise Rolock-Barnes, and John Boardman. Thank you guys so much for all your leadership and support. Councilmember and Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner, also on our board. Brian, thank you. We also have Councilmember Charles Allen, who's been a leader in pushing this project, as well as Councilmember Jack Evans. Thank you for all that you do on the. I also want to thank our partners at the National Park Service, our friends at CRISP who helped drive this as well, and importantly, thank our Mayor, Muriel Bowser. Mayor, thank you for your support, your leadership, and your vision. I'm going to be brief. We have a great job at Events DC. We bring sports, entertainment, conventions, meetings to the city. not only for the people who come here do we have amenities, but for the people who live here. And as someone who's lived here for like 34 years and who used to come out here for Grand Prix and all sorts of festivals, it's fantastic that we're actually going to turn this asphalt into action, as Greg said, with 3 new community soccer fields, lacrosse fields, 6,000 square foot building where people could change, use restroom, water. And moreover, we're going to be out here in March of 2019 to actually drop the soccer ball, because this is something that it's not just a plan, but it's something that we're actually going to be doing. And so I'm really excited about today. We've worked with the community over probably 2 years, as Greg said, series of community meetings where all the elements of our plan is what the community wanted. And so it's really been a collaborative effort, which is why you see so many people here who were part and parcel of making this a success, because we can't do it alone. We collaborate with our partners on the ANCs. Commissioner Mohammed, thank you for all your support. We appreciate it. It's a hot day. Luckily, we have a tent. I could go on all day as people who know me, but I'm not going to. I'm going to turn it over to our... Thank you, Jack, for that. The mayor has really set the vision. She's invested in our youth, whether it's through education, job training, or recreation. She has set the example by leading. And Mayor, we're going to be excited to see Miranda out here playing in a few years. With no further ado, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, good morning, everybody. We are really, really excited to be here today to start our reimagination of the RFK Stadium and surrounding fields. I, too, want to thank our team. I call them the Big Deal team at DMPED, led by Brian Kenner. Thank you, Brian, for your leadership. I want to thank you, Max, and all of the board members at Events DC for just really working super hard. Sometimes people think getting on these boards is honorific, but this is a working board that really helps set a vision for a great organization. So thank you, Max, and all board members. Thank you for that. And we do have the best team in the convention and sports business at Events DC, led by Greg Odell. Greg, thank you for your tremendous leadership as well. So as I was sitting there thinking all of the things in the last 3.5 years that Events DC is going to deliver for us, they started working really, really hard, and you see the fruits of that labor in opening all of the retail establishments around the convention center. For many years, we've been working and planning, and in the last several years, those new retail establishments that really bring our convention center alive are all there. In a few months, we're also going to have a life breathed into the Carnegie Library right across the street from the convention center. And we're going to look forward to you joining us there, where we will have really a world-class retail location, our historical society, as well as community space near the Carnegie Library. In the first week of October, we're going to open the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Ward 8, which is a huge, huge investment in Ward 8. Where we created jobs. We'll have the home field for the Washington Mystics practice facility for the Washington Wizards. And more importantly, because of the Events DC investment, we've been able to make sure that that development proceeds at St. Elizabeth's, and we're very happy about that. So here today, we're in Ward 7 for a huge investment in community. You've heard me talk from day one about making sure we have a plan for this parcel. We knew that we would have a new soccer stadium, which we have, and that's exciting for us, which means we no longer will be using this venue for soccer. And soon we will have to bring it down. And so our focus then was making sure that we have a plan when we have to take this soccer stadium down that is going to enhance our neighborhoods, our river, and our sports and entertainment options. And Events DC has been working extremely hard, strategically and in a very smart way, to present those plans to the community. Max and Greg came to me early on to say that we can do this in phases, and the first phase has to be for the surrounding community, and that's what we're here today to celebrate. I was also recalling the first times that these ideas were presented to me. I want to say I was just mayor, but I think I was actually still serving on the council when the Friends of the Capital Riverside Youth Sports Park came to see me. Are they here today? I bet they are. Let's give them a big round of applause. And the discussion that day was all soccer and how we could use these parcels also to our benefit. We have a lot of federal land in our city. I know you know that I've been focused on how we can get more control over that federal land. We're starting with Franklin Park down in Jack's Ward, down in Ward 2. And we also are pushing really hard with Congresswoman Norton and our federal partners to make sure that we can have control and long-term control of this land too. So Jack, thank you for your support. Charles Allen, thank you for your support. And I would also like to recognize the efforts of Councilmember Gray. So with that, I want to congratulate and there he is. I want to congratulate the community for your persistence, your great planning, and your focus on how we can not only have a citywide and a regional destination here, but this parcel will serve the local community as well. So with that, I have the opportunity now, I think, to introduce the council members. Let me start with our host council member, Councilmember Vincent Gray.
I guess timing is everything, right? Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Mayor Bowser, for the introduction. And I want to thank the people from Events DC. Max, I want to thank you for your leadership. Greg, Odell, I want to thank you for your leadership with Events DC, and the council members who are here. Jack Evans, who I've worked with on so many things over so many years. We probably have stopped counting the years, right, Jack? And, of course, Charles Allen, who is here as well. I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank the folks whose vision it was to be able to repurpose the property that we have over here. This is an enormously valuable piece of land that we have here. As we all know, it served as the first home, I guess, first permanent home, other than Griffith Stadium, for our Washington football team. When we opened, what was it, DC Stadium back in those days? I'm not sure any of us saw that opening. If we did, we probably don't want to admit it at this stage. And, of course, it was home for our baseball team, and then it was home once again for our baseball team when the team returned to the District of Columbia, which now has its own home. And, of course, RFK Stadium has served as the home for our soccer team, DC United, as well, and now it has its own home at Audi Field. And now it will be repurposed for other things to be done. Soccer is a growing endeavor in the District of Columbia, and we're going to see more young people now have the opportunity to be able to play soccer as well with the fields that will be developed here. In addition to that, as somebody who was a baseball player, I'm excited that we're going to have a field here in addition to the other purposes that it will be put to, soccer and other purposes, to have a field here that will be home for baseball and softball. We've done a lot to try to rejuvenate baseball and softball in the District of Columbia, which essentially at the youth level had pretty much died. With the Nationals, the Baseball Academy, which I was delighted to be very much a part of, we've started to rejuvenate it. Didn't we have a great Little League team with Mamie Johnson this year? They didn't win the championship. They didn't get out of the regionals, but so what? It was just a phenomenal effort that they made, up in Connecticut, to be able to represent our city so well. And with the addition of these fields, we're going to have more opportunities that will bring baseball and softball back to life in the District of Columbia at our youth level. So I'm excited. I'm delighted to be able to be here. I look forward to being able to, maybe I can still throw a ball, get out and throw one, you know, the first day that the field opens. So thank you all very much for being here. Thank you everybody who had a role to play in this, and thank you everybody who will make sure that we rejuvenate sports activities here in the District of Columbia in the ways that we want, especially at our youth level. Won't it be great to be able to say that we have had more than 2 major leaguers? We've only had 2 major leaguers to come out of the District of Columbia. Maury Wills many years ago, and one young man who went on to play with the San Francisco Giants, and now has been in the farm system for Washington. We need more than 2, don't we? So let's make that happen. Let's make it happen with our own young people here in the District of Columbia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Gray. Happy to introduce our Ward 6 council member who's really been a strong champion of what we're doing here. We appreciate your support, Charles Allen.
Good morning, everybody. This really is, I kind of think of this as a milestone moment. This is really a big deal, and I am proud and excited to be here and excited to join all of you. About 7 years or so ago, I sat down with a group of neighbors who wanted to start talking about what the future of this site could be and tried to lay out a vision for that. And I do want to just take a quick moment because we thank them as an organization. There's a couple of folks that I do want to quickly name check, though, because I think they've played such an important role. And that's Mike Godek, Mike Barrett, Ziad Damian, Ram Upaluri, and Larry Coffer. Let's give them a big round of applause. We sat down and we talked about what this site could be, and really I've tried to fight for this ever since. And what I'm excited about, and you heard from Councilmember Gray a moment ago, this is really where Ward 6 and Ward 7 also meet. And Vince and I have talked a lot about, how do we help make sure that Ward 6 and 7 come together? How do we make sure that both sides of the river come together? And through sports and fields and play space and green space, that's one of the ways that we accomplish that. Ward 6 is just a stone's throw that way. And I really appreciate, Vince, your partnership in this and the work that we've done. So thank you very much. But as we started moving this down the road, one of the things we had to do, of course, is talk with Events DC. And I got to tell you, Greg Odell has been a phenomenal partner. When we first met and talked about this, he and his entire team, it fit squarely with the vision that they wanted to start brainstorming and start thinking about this site. And I really appreciate it, Greg, to you and to the entire Events DC team. So thank you. And then, of course, came the board. Max, I think, really leaned into this in a way that I really appreciate and really helped turn something that was a great idea into the action, into the entire Events DC board. I'm really grateful for the hard work that you did. And I also know you can't do any of that without the support from the mayor. And Muriel Bowser really helped us make sure that we have a shared vision around this, help push the board, help work with Events DC, work with all of us. So, Muriel, thank you. We really appreciate it. When we think about this space, really almost an entire generation of Washingtonians has lived with this space right next to the Anacostia River, but has seen it as parking lots. Used 8 days out of the year sometimes, but also we've had everything from a Formula One race to mountains of snow melting away. But also, frankly, one of my favorite events that we will have to figure out where this goes now, which is our Touch a Truck Day, which is a big hit with the families. But this is really something that's going to activate this space, turn it into something that is so critically important. We know when you see the stadium behind us, it comes a lot of parking lots. I think this is a moment where the city is helping reclaim this space and help serve our communities and our neighbors, and I'm really proud of that. I'm grateful for all the leadership from everyone with CRISP, from our Ward 6 and Ward 7 ANCs that work together very collaboratively to help shape what this could look like, to the mayor and all the way through her team. I'm really grateful for it. I'm excited. I wish that I'd brought a jackhammer, because I would love to break up as much of this asphalt with you as possible, but we'll come back out another day for that. But thank you all very much, and it's now my honor to help introduce somebody who, as we walked up, I was joking and asked, was this ever a part of Ward 2? And he said, I think so. I think so. But let me introduce Jack Evans, our Ward 2 council member.
Thank you, Charles, and good morning, everyone. We can do better than that. Good morning. God, it's a great day here at the RFK site, and I'm very excited to be here today. There's an old expression, though. when you're this far down in the program, it's all been said, but not by me. So here we go. So I want to begin, too, by starting out thanking our mayor. Give the mayor another big round of applause. Her vision, her leadership has been terrific in making all of this happen. And my colleagues, Charles Allen, Charles, thank you, and Vince Gray. And Vince is right. Vince and I go back a long time. 28 years ago. 28 years ago, right? He was the director of the Human Services, and I was the first-time Ward 2 council member in 1991. And we started working together on a number of projects all the way to today. And it's been an enormous, enormous achievement here for the District of Columbia. So, Vince, thank you. Thank you very much. The Events DC goes without saying. Greg Odell, thank you, Greg, and your whole staff. You've done a terrific job. The people don't realize he helped build the baseball stadium. He helped build the convention center, right? Without Greg, none of that would have happened. So, really, Events DC is just something. The other stuff, really. And where's my Max Brown? I remember Max way back in the day when Tony Williams got it before, when he was the CFO. And Max has been a terrific advocate for this city for many, many years. And you're really, I want to say this, your extraordinary work as chair of this board has been terrific. When we met and you first became chairman, we had so many issues. Remember, Linda, the retail at the convention center couldn't get done. Issue after issue, and you brought it all to fruition, Max. So thank you. And the board members here, all of them, who have done such a terrific job. Linda was my first campaign manager back in 1991. So if you don't like me, blame her. Otherwise, that's why I'm here. There's a lot of people who don't like me. And Alan, my neighbor, Alan Bubas, and Denise, and certainly John Boardman. The first union that endorsed me in 1991 was his union, right? Remember back then? Big round of applause for all of them. Yeah, blame him too. And all of the rest of you. Thank you for being out here. Certainly the residents on Capitol Hill and Ward 6. You know, sports is, to me, one of the defining things for a city. What makes great cities? There's lots of things, arts, museums, residents, businesses, everything. But sports is a unifier. And I'll tell you a story about the District of Columbia. It shows you the trajectory that this city took from back in 1991 to where we are today. Because by 1996, when the city was in the throes of a disaster, we became the only major city in America that did not have one professional sports franchise in its borders. Isn't that amazing? The Bullets at the time and the Caps were out in the Cap Center. The Redskins had left town, and that was it. We didn't have a baseball team. We didn't have anything else. And one of the goals I set is I want to get every one of them back. How do we make that happen? And we started with the Verizon Center. And it was a controversial project, if anybody remembers. It never fit in the site. We shouldn't do it. Don't do it. It's a disaster. And it turned out to want to be a crowning achievement, really the catalyst that revitalized downtown. Brought the Wizards and the Caps back. The DC United was started here around that time, 97, 98. A soccer team that has won the championship many times. Then next, the baseballs. And again, 7-6 vote on the council 12 times. Everybody thought, why would you, in God's name, build a stadium in an area with 3 strip joints and a cement factory? That's what was there. That was what it was. Why would you do that? And yet we did it. And Vince was on the council. You supported it, myself, and somehow we got 7 votes. And look what the end result has been. I was just interviewed by Sports Illustrated yesterday about how a stadium can change a neighborhood. And with both the Verizon Center and now the Capital One Arena and the baseball stadium, you can see how it does bring a lot of economic development. We now have all the sports franchises except one, the football team, which is out there, in our borders. And you know what happens when they move here? Mayor, what happens? They win. Right? They win. And Mayor, right? We certainly know how to throw a championship parade, don't we? And to show you how sports is a unifier, and I always use this as an example. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? It's the 5th game, and you go to downtown Washington, D.C., in the 5th game of the Stanley Cups. There are 22,000 people in the Capital One Arena, 22,000 people in the arena. Another 50,000 people outside watching on TV and watching everywhere around, and the team's playing in Las Vegas. Really? Isn't that an unbelievable unifier for a city? And so what we're doing here today, as the others have mentioned, with these soccer fields and baseball fields, it's really laying the groundwork for the generations to come. Because sports, I grew up playing sports. And there was nothing like sports, whether it's team sports or individual sports, to really give someone confidence and the ability to work together. And I'm convinced I'm going to tell my joke, okay, and then I'm going to finish with this. So I was a high school football player, okay? And freshman year, I came out for football and I was very excited about it, ran up to the coach, said, Coach, I'm here. Where do you want me to play? He said, I want you to be the end, the guard, and the tackle. He said, the end, guard, and tackle. Boy, Coach, that's a lot. He said, yeah, you sit on the end of the bench, you guard the water bucket, and tackle anybody who comes near it. So that's it. So with that, thank you all, and on to the groundbreaking.
Thank you, Councilmember Evans, for that story. I don't know what else to say. So we're going to move on to the exciting groundbreaking ceremony. But before we do, I actually want to give two last acknowledgments. First, we thank a lot of people to make this happen. It would be remiss under the mayor's leadership not to thank the district agencies that really helped make this work. So I know Melinda Bowling is here and Eric Shaw is here for DCRA and Office of Planning. Please give them a round of applause as well. And certainly Brian Kenner, for the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, has done a fantastic job for the portfolio of economic development. So please give him a round of applause as well. And last but not least, we're on the campus, and the building is named after a great man who did much for the country and for the world, and you all know who he is. What you don't know is we're also represented and been pleased and honored to work with his granddaughter, Maeve McKean, who's here, so please give her a round of applause as well. So with that, we're going to go have the ceremony now, so we direct everybody's attention over to where the shovels are, so we'll do our thing, and then we'll take questions there as well. So thank you all for coming. Please join us over there.
You're in the shot, lady. Stills. You're in the shot.
All right, you can just say that.
I said that. You're not listening.
We're all doing the same job here, sir.
Just send me y'all photos. I got to start moving photos today.
Hold on for a
Front
second.
page.
I want you to say, I'm not worried about that.
Now.
Okay, I got you. I'll send it to you tomorrow.
No.
How about that? She's a part of the board. She's still part of the board, right?
She didn't say come.
Seemed like such a good idea.
She never said come.
Oh, wait, are you on this?
Why didn't pick on us walk out off for y'all there?
Oh.
Safety issues.
I'm not going to I have no shame. It is what it is. I have not kids. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
He is so sweet.
I tried. And it did not what you doing, I Huh? Yeah. They just keep my hand, like I'm still trying to
Thought you cared.
I was going loud in there. Yo, I know.
All can say what she
Yeah, I
is.
just took a little video for it. Good, that's what
Yeah. That should be fun. Yes. Switch. You got a center mass.
Put that helmet on that head.
Stills can get down, please. Helmet. Hold on, my shot.
Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor. Can we get a pole shot?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Nope.
Can we get a pose shot of everybody, please?
Sure.